When my favorite musicians die, I think I kind of over-relate. It becomes more about me than it is about them because I'm so wrecked. And losing David Bowie was no exception. Welcome to The Radioactive Patient, a music and mental health mashup. I'm Allison Strong, your host. David Bowie, the king of sound and vision, captured the art of imagination and self-reinvention like nobody else. He crossed divides of race, gender, era, and style in art, music, and even in his work as an actor. David Bowie was multimedia with a capital M. And he did it all with such masterful theatrical flair. During the final months, during the making of the Black Star album, was death another carefully constructed role like Ziggy Stardust, Major Tom, and the Thin White Duke? There's another character that David Bowie inhabited, but not many people talk about it. It was the role of the Gouster, or if you like to pronounce your G's softly, the Jouster. The hip funkster David Bowie was during what he called his plastic soul years. Let me explain. During the last half of the Ziggy Stardust tour, David Bowie knew that he wanted to make a soul record, and he came very close to succeeding. What he did was move to Philadelphia, where he thought he could find the roots of soul and R&B. He was really interested in the Chitlin Circuit and the Apollo Theater, and for the making of the Young Americans album, he even recruited Carlos Alomar, who played with James Brown during the 1960s. And maybe this is why 1975's Young Americans album is my very favorite album. When it came out, I was 14 years old, and I had just entered high school. When the kids that I had gone to elementary school and junior high school with got to high school and they got into their roles as jock, cheerleader, drama geek, straight A nerd, homecoming queen, it was like I didn't exist anymore. I mean, I'd run into these kids who I'd known for 10 or 11 years in the halls and go, hi David, hi Laura, and they would just walk by like I wasn't even there. I was the ultimate outsider and very depressed. But here was David Bowie, a former glam rock star, now a funkster. David Bowie, just by being David Bowie, he made it okay to be an outsider, to be a freak, to be an alien, to be whoever you were. If the world made room for David Bowie, I had hope. Maybe one day it would make room for me. There was another thing David Bowie stood for. This was in the 1980s. He squared off with MTV's VJ, Mark Goodman, during 120 Minutes and said, hey, I want to know, other than Michael Jackson and the occasional Prince record, where are all the other black artists? And when he got nowhere with Goodman and took the matter to corporate, his music video for Let's Dance featured an Aboriginal couple. Who had the last laugh there? And I need to have a sense of humor sometimes, especially when I'm going through what I'm going through right now, depression. I'm not sure if it's situational or if my mood has taken a turn for the worse. I highly doubt that David Bowie had a mental health condition, but you know what? If he did, we'll never know, because he wouldn't have wanted us to. But I'll tell you one thing, if Bowie was here today, he'd champion my cause, he'd champion your cause, but now that he's gone, we have to champion ourselves. Bowie would have wanted that for us, don't you think? Well, that's it for this week's edition of The Radioactive Patient. If you like what you saw, please go ahead and let us know by liking or subscribing to the channel, or share it with someone you know who might need some support. This is what helps the community grow. I'm Allison Strong, and until next week, ciao for now.